Welcome to the current issue of the Day Club, where we will be discussing
the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. Was that fight done right? And is Sukuna the fraud he definitely is?
Now, the thing about that is, his statement right there, prove it wrong, Sukuna is not a fraud whatsoever. Sukuna always had a capability to defeat Gojo. And he did, in fact, do that.
No, Sukuna did not have the capability because he had to use Megumin's technique to counteract his infinity.
If you think about it realistically, the one who dealt the finishing blow was Sukuna. So in the end, Sukuna, while he did need help somewhat, the vast majority of the job was done by himself.
Stated by in the manga, Sukuna needed a model, so the model that the Sukuna needed to use was based off of what Maharaka had, and Sukuna used that to bypass infinity. Without that, he could have never bypassed infinity. Stated by Maharaka adaptation made it so he cut the world itself, and so Sukuna used that so he could.
I'm stop right there. So, the world cutting slash. The thing about it is that you were in fact right in that it is targeting space itself rather than what is contained in space. He targeted space, and as Sukuna said it himself, it was as if rather than painting on the canvas, you would cut the entire canvas itself. Sukuna always had the capability to perform the world cutting slash.
Yes, so Sukuna did need Maharaka to make his action. You're right, he could do so himself. But that's much harder than you think it is. Maharaka's adaptation is much faster. During the fight, Sukuna took on the will of the adaptation, which made things easier for Maharaka to adapt faster. That's how Sukuna got it. Yes. Sukuna took on the will of Maharaka, that was, he took the bull and most of the adaptation, that was Maharaka would have adapted faster, because Gojo didn't win the one shot. Now, Gojo fought him one versus 3, because he used his Agito, Maharaka, and Sukuna himself.
Yeah, wait. Listen. First of all, when it was not 1v3, from the very beginning of the fight, when they're constantly clashing domains over and over, frying each other's brain, that gonna have him outmatched. So, the thing about that is, the entirety of before all the Shikigami were summoned, and even the 10 Shadow technique was utilized, there was a constant battle between Demon and Invocation, Gojo using simple domain, and Sukuna outclassing him using Malevolent Shrine. Malevolent Shrine was a far superior domain. 8 times out of the 10 they domain clashed over and over and over. Now listen to me closely. I'm saying Sukuna not a fraud whatsoever. Because, yes, you can say, oh yeah, he had a jump hit. Oh yeah, it was 3-on-1. But, him using the 10 Shadow technique actually limited his own techniques. Because Cleave nor Dismantle can reach Gojo whatsoever. Because of Infinity. But I think it was an absolute win, not a straight power. Gojo, yes, is in fact more powerful than Sukuna. However, in terms of battle IQ, Sukuna is superior. Now, Sukuna being superior in battle IQ doesn't make him overall the greatest fighter, but the entire reason he backed up Gojo in an app.
Right.
So, Sukuna to go.
Okay, Gojo made a comeback because he outdid everything Sukuna did. He came back perfectly. He had a counter for everything Sukuna did, and Sukuna was struggling to keep up with Gojo. On that last part, Sukuna did not see what Gojo was playing at all, and nor could he stop it. So when Gojo did his Hollow Purple, that was only traps. If Sukuna didn't use the model of action to get past Gojo's domain.
No more passes, past 245.
I think we should bring in our resident fact checker. Take it away, bro. Don't you think that Sukuna only won because of Maharaka? Look it up, fact checker.
Understand your perspective of Maharage being crucial in the act of Gojo.
That does not mean he did not have to go out of his way to obtain Megumi's body for nothing. Yes, he had these mega bodies, but this is Jujutsu Kaisen. They are using techniques. They are being sorcerers. And I think a part of that is going out of your way to obtain more techniques. And many characters in the series have done it before to obtain cursed tools to get an advantage over opponents. Just like how Nayuzeni needs, I don't know, a knife mid-fight to deal additional damage. Or how Maki may need Political Cloud or, a spear due to her lack of success.
So let's get back to the main topic. Who was stronger in total? Gojo or Sukuna? And to finish things off, Gojo showed way more soul in his own technique than what Sukuna did. Sukuna showed off his experience, his battle knowledge, and battle IQ. Yet Gojo counteracted almost everything he did with his one technique and his own abilities. So I say Gojo is stronger.